So let's see what Anuradha has to offer us. So the mantra of Anuradha is Mitrasya Anuradha Abhyarohat Parastat Abhyarudham Avastat. This is the mantra of Anuradha. So in Anuradha, what we will see is Mitra is the deity. So usually Mitra and Varuna is a combo deity. So these two are invoked together. So it's called as Maitra Varuna. When they are individually called, they are called as Mitra and Varuna. Varuna rules the Satabhisha Nakshatra. So this is the deity. Mitra rules here. And Varuna rules the Satabhisha Nakshatra. These are twin deities. We have a story around it. We'll talk about it. And if you talk about Mitra, Mitra would mean a friend. So we call this man Yudhishthira from the Mahabharata to be Ajata Shatru, having no foes, no enemies. So this man, Dharmaraja or the Yudhishthira, is a person who is friendly to everyone, wants to make friends with everyone. And we have the children of Mitra and Varuna are Agastya and Vasishtha. These are the two children. And again, they were twins. Okay. So Agastya and Vasishtha were born from, born like test tube babies. Okay. If you talk about the first test tube baby in the world, then we have to say that Agastya and Vasishtha are the first test tube babies because they were born from pots, but not from the mother's womb. All right. So let's look at the nakshatra deity here. The deity is Mitra. Mitra is one of those 12 Adityas. We will talk about Adityas for each of the Rashi. After we finish all of the nakshatras, we'll talk about the Adityas for each of the Rashi. During that time, we will have more information about the Adityas. However, there are 12 Adityas. So one of them is Mitra. The other one is Varuna. So that way, there are 12 Adityas. So what this man Mitra, the Aditya, would do is he rules the brightest part of the day. So in the brightest part of the day, even at the poles, the moon is not visible. It means that there's no darkness when Mitra is ruling. It means that everything is visible, black and white. So Anuradha has a trait wherein everything has to be black and white. Okay. We'll talk about those traits in a short while. So Anuradha would like honesty. He's an honest man and he would like honest people. This is one of the first traits that you would look at Anuradha. Honesty is the first thing because Yudhishthira, as you see, is friends with everyone because he does not have to change his shoes when he's talking to different people. Let's suppose somebody is not a honest man, then he would have to keep changing his sentences. When he's talking to one guy, he would just explain it in a different way, another guy in another way. So Yudhishthira is not of that sort. He's always been a straight man and an honest man. Okay. So that's the first thing that you would look at, Mitra. Mitra would mean being friends with everyone. Okay. And also, if you look at the brightest part of the day, even today, if you look at the brightest part of the day that lasts between 11 to 3 in the morning, during the daytime, that would last between, if you take 12 as the noon, maybe plus or minus 2 hours from there would be the brightest part of the day. That would bring you the highest economy, right? At that point in time, everybody is working, doing something to get money home. So this Mitra, the person Mitra is looking at making contracts, making treaties, making some progress with people, and making some progress with the economy. So Mitra is looking at treaties, contracts. Contracts can be anything. It could be an employment contract that you would be signing for for your joining of a job, or it could be a partnership contract between two partners who are setting up a business. It could be any of those treaties that are signed between two countries. They would be bilateral treaties. There can be trilateral treaties. There can be an economic corridor, and there would be treaties that look, we're going to give you a tax holiday or a customs import holiday. All that stuff gets into this man called Mitra. So if you're looking at the mundane astrology, then you may have to use Anuradha for those things. If you're looking at the personal horoscopy, then you can think like treaties between partners, or like these days there is Shark Tank, right? You get to see this much of equity would be given to you, and you may have to shell out this much money to buy that equity or stuff like that. So the valuation of the company is agreed upon pre-money, post-money, all that matters would come into Anuradha. Okay. We will talk about it in detail in a short while, what are all those things that can happen using Anuradha. Okay, the symbols are the triumphal arch. This is the same symbol as in Vishakha. So the people of Anuradha, so the name Anuradha as it would mean. So Vishakha is Radha. Anuradha would mean somebody who is following Radha. Anu would mean Anugamaha Radha. That means somebody who is following Radha. Okay, so a lot of traits of Vishakha and Anuradha would be similar. So there are situations wherein the person is absolutely talented, but the situations are tough for him, and he has an environment that is very tough, and he is actually hustling through it to be successful. That is Anuradha. Okay. And so these people are also highly ambitious, like Vishakha. They are constantly on the move or constantly moving in the mind as well. I mean, they're running many ideas across and trying to fit what suits them the best. And they keep moving those ideas back and forth so as to be successful. Okay. And what would a triumphal arch would mean? I have explained this to you in the Vishakha. It's same like the video game where you're crossing the first level, second level, and so on, and you keep extending your goals. So this man, the Vishakha and the Anuradha man, have got the same traits wherein they achieve something and they move their goal or the target point even further farther, so that they can achieve much more, because they have already achieved something, they want to achieve furthermore. They're always going to push their targets further and further and further ahead. Okay, that's one good thing. It can be a negative thing as well, because these people do not relax. They do not relax much. They're always behind achieving something, either on the personal front or on the monetary front, or the economy or the financial front, wherein they're always trying to keep themselves busy. Okay. Then you have the lotus flower. So lotus flower, if you look at lotus, this actually, grows or originates in a slushy, muddy environment where it's not very easy for plants to grow. It's neither, usually plants would need a stable soil over which there has to be water, which has to be supplied, in intervals. But whereas lotus grows in a place which is mushy, slushy, sludgy, uh, not very conducive for ordinary plants. It's a very difficult environment. That's where lotus grows. So these people have very tough conditions through their life, and they are actually carefully maneuvering all through those hurdles and trying to go through the triumphal arch, which is the gateway wherein they're crossing levels and pushing their targets further ahead. The other one is the staff, which I said, but if you look at the symbol here, you can see this symbol. This symbol is, the scepter or the Rajadanda. I mean, recently, even Modi installed one of those Rajadanda the parliament, which came from the Tamil Nadu. Okay, so I'm not very sure if it's called as scepter or something, but as far as I have understood, this is called as scepter. However, there can be different names. In the Sanskrita, it is called as Raja Dandam. It can be the same in Hindi because it's the same in Telugu and most of the South Indian language. Okay. All right. So this is a Mrudu Nakshatra. Mrudu would mean a soft nakshatra. So people are not responding to others in a very harsh way, no matter how much ever they are betrayed, because these people are very honest and and they face a lot of betrayal in their lives. I mean, because only honest people can be betrayed. If a person is cunning, it's too difficult to betray him. So these people face a lot of betrayal in life, a lot of, uh, I mean, I would say betrayal from due to love. Betrayal can be for money. Betrayal can be for friendship. All these, all those arenas, the native is actually betrayed most of the times. Okay, and still then the native is not replying anything in harsh back to the person who did the betrayal. He would try to accept it and move forward and make money, make love, make friends from somewhere else. Would not actually bother too much about what has happened in the past. He keeps moving in life, which is a very good trait, and that actually makes him successful because what he thinks is if you have to be successful, there are pitfalls. Yes, we have to accept those pitfalls and keep moving forward. And every failure has to be counted as a stepping stone for a success. This is what Anuradha natives are well known for. Okay, these are on the Trayangamukha, as I said, just described right now. So they are still looking in the environment itself. Okay, this friend has betrayed me. Fine. Okay, let's get rid of him. Keep moving forward. Make new friends and make new partners and keep doing business with them. Okay. All right. The nickname of this nakshatra is follower of Radha, which I said Anuradha would mean follower of Radha or follower of Vishakha, because Radha and Vishakha are the same. Subsequent success. That means the natives are successful in the second half of their lives. In the first half of their lives, most of the times they are actually struggling. You know why? Because they do not want to live in a comfortable place. If let us suppose Anuradha has got a very good job and everything is running very fine at the age of 20, 25, I mean, very early age, if they have got settled, they would think, look, something is not wrong. I think I can achieve much better. And I'm actually trying to compromise, and there is not much of a challenge in the life. So what he would do is maybe he'll give up that job, or he may give up the relationship because there are no challenges in it, and he wants to achieve a little more. Okay, this is a little different from the other people. This is one of the biggest trait. He would do that, give it away, and try to do something more challenging. That's why he gets into trouble. Or some people are actually continuously hustling through and trying to check, look, my father and my mom are settled at home. They don't need my money to be sent because they get some pension. They're not struggling for food. They're okay. So it's just like the Vishakha thing, which I told you. So I need not send them money. So what I would do is I'll explore all the options available for the next 5 years without earning anything. And they would keep roaming across and try to see what gets them the best challenge. Once the challenge is found, that's when they will start the hustling job. So they'll hustle for the first 10 years, understand something. There will be failures. They will keep falling, keep getting up, and keep running. This can be one of those traits. But yes, these are soft people. So unless they explain it to you, look, this is what happened to me. I mean, unless the person is very close to you, Anuradha will not tell you, look, I have struggled all through my life, and that's when I made my life. They don't want that sympathy, or they don't want people to understand much about them, because this Anuradha is in the Scorpio, and Anuradha is the first nakshatra where everything is hidden. They don't want to show up. Okay, Anuradha, everything is hidden. They don't want to show up emotions. They don't want to show if a friend has betrayed, or if a lover has betrayed, or if a business partner has betrayed. They do not want to share it with anyone. They'll keep it within themselves. They're like a volcano which is passive. They don't get burst. They won't be bursted. They'll keep all that like a volcano within them. Okay. And the foundation above is to ascend. The foundation below is to descend or descended. That means because they faced a failure, they want to go up in life. Okay. So they have come from a better place. They have fallen down. Like I gave you an example of a person who got settled at 22. Let's suppose somebody got a job in the US in the campus, and an Anuradha, he went up to the US. I mean, just throw an example wherein, he got some very good job, like maybe Google, okay, very good, handsome salary. He would work, if the work happens to be very, very simple, not much of challenges, he would give that work away, give it up, renounce it. You mean resign the job, come back India, struggle somewhere, do something else, and learn something very passionately, fall in it, get back on, and then keep moving. That's how these people are. Then is the Radhana Shakti, the power to worship. So with whomever they are friends with, they worship them. They worship them like the Krishna is to Radha, or Krishna is to Lalita, because Lalita and Radha are friends. So Krishna and Radha and Krishna and Lalita are of the same relationship. Okay, so it's like a friendly nature, wherein the partner with those friends, and they worship them like anything. Okay. And then the final desire is to be regarded as friends in all the worlds. Okay. So they want everybody to be friends with them. This is a positive trait and a negative trait as well, because there are some people whom you cannot be friends with. These people would try to be friends with everyone. That can be a negative thing as well. Okay. So whatever we try to understand, do not ever think that one statement is a positive thing, another statement is a negative thing. No, it's not like that. The same statement is always positive, and the same statement is always negative. There are always two sides to it. You have to understand this by now. If you're not doing that and thinking that one of the final desires of one thing is very good, the other thing, another nakshatra, the final desire is not very good, or for that matter, any of these traits which we are talking about, wherein let us suppose if I said, there is a biased nature for the person, and there is an unbiased nature for a person. Okay. Take the example of Dharani, which has unbiased nature towards everyone. And take the example of Purva Phalguni, which has a biased nature. So do not think Purva Phalguni is bad, and the Bharani is very good, because unbiased is having an unbiased nature is very good, and having a biased nature is very bad. No, it doesn't work like that. I would tell you, having a biased nature is very, very good. I'll prove you right away. Okay. Take an example. I just gave an example yesterday. Okay, somebody asked me a question, or maybe it just lit me up. Uh, Take an example of a chief minister. Okay, a Bharani chief minister and a Bharani and a Purva Phalguni chief minister. There are two people. So Bharani man would be unbiased, right? And this man, both became chief ministers. Let us suppose they have ruled the states for about five years each. You go back to their children, maybe after 10 years of their of their regime, of the chief minister thing. The one who is Purva Phalguni, right? Their children are much better settled than the person who is Bharani chief minister, because this man not only denied everything to him, but also to his children. Because he would say, look, if I give you I have a pen, right? In the chief minister's office, let us suppose there are notebooks and pens. Uh, he maintains two pens, one pen for his office, another pen for his home. And with the kind of salary a chief minister would get these days, they would always be, poorer if their children, just if they're living alone on their salary. Okay, I'm not encouraging people to, do bribe or have that what is that called as corruption or something. But I'm trying to give you the logic behind it. I mean, having a prosperous life is always good, right? So, I mean, if you forget right now at the corruption part, however, there are so many things a chief minister can do. A Bharani man will completely deny anything because, look, I'm an unbiased guy and everybody has to look at me as an unbiased guy. Just for proving this point in the world, he denies a lot to his children, and his children are constantly angry. Okay. Whereas the Purva Phalguni fellow is very clear what can be given to children and what should not be if he has a good planetary positions. Okay. So if his planetary positions are good, Jupiter is good, Venus is good, Saturn and Mars are weak, then this man would give you, I mean, just giving you an example, this man would give you enough money for their children without having to even make some corruption. Because what happens is if you're in such a very good position, you just make a phone call to a friend. Look, I mean, my kid is struggling. Can you just help him with your job or something, or maybe train him somewhere? The Bharani fellow will not do even that. Okay. Now you may understand why I'm saying something that is unbiased can also be very, very detrimental sometimes. Because doing anything over than what is required can also put you into problem. Because the Bharani guy is constantly checking his own self, wherein, am I right? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right as per the dharma or not? So he's so confused in his own dharma. This man can, get all his kids into the drain. Okay, the prosperity can all be lost because when he's in power, he's not using any of those things to get some help to his children. Hope I'm making some sense. If not, go back and forth in the video and you may understand it. All right. So we have Puranic stories. These are Maitra, Varuna, Maitreya, Yudhishthira, Agastya, and Vasishtha, Lalita. So it's a big nakshatra. So let's keep moving. All of you, when the lecture is over, when you get the time over the week, whenever you find some time, I know the lectures are 2 hour long, but what I would recommend is go to the website, have an understanding of maybe because not each and every line can be read out and not each and every line can be explained. So go to the website, it's a free website. Just type the freevedic.astro.com slash and the nakshatra name so that you get this stuff, or go to the menu and go to study and see the nakshatras. You have all the nakshatras listed out here. Click on those nakshatra, follow the lecture, have some examples around, and keep checking whether the traits are coming or not. Okay, that will make you an expert. I mean, these are not going to come off just like that. They'll just vanish in a jiffy. It's too difficult for you to actually memorize all these. So always memorize the mantra, always memorize the final desire and the Shakti, foundation above and below, and also the nicknames. These 4 5 things, if you memorize for each nakshatra, they only come with practice. If you read it for once or twice, they're not going to come because there's no logic that you can apply to it. There's no pattern or something in a way or a rhythm or something in which you can remember them. The only way is the mantras can be rhythmic. You have to read them out aloud every day, like you do the Vishnu Sahasranama or something. That's when you can by heart them all. But I would recommend please have a note of all these mantras. They'll be very, very helpful. All right. Mitrasya Anuradha Abhyarohat Parastat Abhyarudam Avasthat. The English mantra is here. And I'm trying to write whatever I could decipher as meanings for each of these words. So Mitra, Anuradha, Abhyarohat, Abhyarudam. I'm not using the Parastat and the Avastat because these are all common in all of the nakshatras. Mitra is the Vedic solar deity, as I said a little while ago. He keeps cordial relationships with everyone, and he's a divine friend and a compassionate fellow. He's more like a Dharmaraja, all right? And we have Anuradha, the next word, the one which follows Radha. So there are a lot of struggles in the life at the first part, and there is a lot of prosperity in the second part. Okay. Abhyarohat, the one which is ascending, the person who is trying to constantly climb up the ladder. So when somebody is trying to climb up, there are always falls, and then they try to regain back and reclimb the whole thing. Okay. Abhyarohat and Abhyarudham would be like he is sitting on a throne, because the next nakshatra is Jyeshtha. Jyeshtha is the Indra who is sitting on a throne, and he has all the power. Okay. So in short, what I would say is Mitrasya Anuradha Abhyarohat Parastat Abhyarudam Avastat is the person is an honest man. He's trying to make friends with everyone. He has a soft attitude towards people, and then he's making a lot of progress in life. He's a hustler. He has failures at the start of life, which form as stepping stones in life, and he keeps achieving. Once he achieves, he keeps pushing his targets further ahead, so that he wants to achieve more and more. Okay, so these are the few lines which you can have for Anuradha. Let's look at the first story, Mitra and Varuna. These are two people. Okay, so these two people are born like twins. You can find this whole story across Google or any of the search engines. Please read that story in toto so that you have a better understanding of what this would stand for. So these were walking or strolling across the seashore one day, and they saw this woman called Urvashi. Okay, Urvashi is the celestial nymph, and she dances in the court of Indra. So Urvashi would mean somebody who's born from the Uru. Uru would mean the thigh. So this would mean there can be relations to the thigh thing. I mean, there can be problems with the thighs, or when do you have the thighs? I mean, the person who has a very good thighs would actually stand very well, who can run very well. So these people have stronger thighs or weaker thighs. Okay, that's one thing. So these people, when they get to see the celestial nymphs, Urvashi, Mitra and Varuna, who are actually conjoined twins, they cannot be separated. Okay, they were born together. When they saw her, they both fell in love, of which Mitra looks a little better. Varuna is a dark man in the complexion. So Urvashi reciprocated love towards Mitra, and Varuna actually felt very bad for it. So there are triangular love stories. Okay, in Anuradha, usually the first relationship, whatever happens, ends little painfully. It could be a relationship that lasted for a short while, or it can be a marriage that lasted for a short while. Both can happen. So the seventh lord Dispositors connections, if they happen to fall in Anuradha, it's a little painful separation for the native, wherein, I can give you an example like, you take Libra ascendant, seventh lord is Mars, Mars being in Anuradha. Okay, so do not think the Anuradha Mars is in a own sign. So you have super thing. No, it's not like that. Never go by exaltations, debilitations, and own house, or what is that, Shatru house or Mitra house. Do not go by any of those stuff. Okay, they don't work. So now what happens with this example of Libra Lagna, the seventh Lord Mars being in the Anuradha would mean the seventh Lord in Anuradha, the seventh Lord Dispositor as well is in Anuradha, because Mars is in the own sign. There is no more Dispositor. I mean, you may use K2, but now Mars is so strong being in the own sign, you would get more of a result from the Anuradha itself. That would mean, okay, unless there are other things to cancel out, most of the times, 95% of the times, what happens is there is a very good relationship between the native and whoever it is, the lover, you can say for the moment, which lasted for a short while or maybe a little longer, maybe one solar year or 360 days rather, or maybe a little more, but that has ended painfully for whatever reasons. Okay, the reasons and stuff like that can be predicted from the D9 and also the planets and stuff like that. But always use the planets as well. I mean, the other planets and other things have to be checked for. However, 90% of the times, this has higher chances of happening that there has been a painful separation from the partner. Could be, I mean, they could be in living as well. I mean, they were living together for a long time, unknown to the parents of either of the family. I mean, both of the families. Once they got to know it, culturally they are different, so there happened a separation. Okay, this is 90% of the times I'm seeing this. Okay, or for whatever reasons they thought that their career paths are different, so they have separated from each other and they have pursued two different lives altogether. Okay, so there are triangular love stories. When I said triangular, it would mean so these two have married, I mean, separately. So there are, I mean, there is enough love for the other person to cater to. Okay, in both the cases, the male and the female both have got separated and they've got married to somebody else, both people. Okay, or there can be something that came out wherein the woman got to know that the boy has another relationship with another girl, and that's why there is a painful separation. It can be that as well. The first relationship is a tough one. 90% of the times, it becomes very difficult. Okay, for Anuradha. All right, so that's one thing. So due to looks, as I said, because Varuna doesn't look that great, so due to looks, there can be problems for bringing up alliances. If the seventh lord falls in Anuradha, either the native is not very good looking, or the native is very good looking. That's why he's not willing to marry average looking partners. Okay. Wherever you have any doubt, you can stop me and ask. Okay. Maitreya once visited Hastinapura. Okay, I've told you about the Thai thing. So Maitreya is another rishi. This man once visited Hastinapura and advised Duryodhana to stop fighting with Pandavas and give them back the kingdom. However, Duryodhana did not hear to him, and Maitreya gave him a curse, saying, "Look, you will be dying in the war because there will be a hit on the thighs, which eventually happened." So there is a thigh thing even here. So either the thighs are damaged, there is a problem in the thighs, or the thighs are very strong. Both can be there. Okay. And Maitreya taught Vidura spirituality. So this is a very, very spiritual nakshatra as well. I mean, the person can evolve spiritually very well because there are so many failures in life at the young age. So what he would think is, I have to evolve spiritually so that, I mean, this happens most of the times. I mean, spiritual does not always mean that he is into Hinduism or doing all the pujas and stuff like that. I mean, don't be of that opinion. Spiritual would mean elevated soul who is into understanding the whole world clearly. That is what a spiritual enlightenment. Do not think doing a puja or a ritual would mean a spiritual thing. No, a lot of people are spiritual. They don't do any pujas. Okay, there are different people. I mean, different ways of life are there. So do not think a spiritual man would have कोई इतना बड़ा विभूति लगा के इतना बड़ा बिंदी लगा के नहीं दिखेगा. It's not always common. ऐसा कुछ कर रहा है तो कोई कोई वो भी हो सकता है. I mean, the person can be a fraud as well if he's trying to portray himself to be a very, very big spiritualist. So spirituality, I mean, take it in the right sense. Why I'm trying to explain that is take it in the right sense. I mean, this person is dedicated to something in his life, even that is spirituality. All right. So when both of these people fell in love, Varuna and Mitra, although Urvashi has rejected the love of Varuna. Both had their sperm fallen into the pots, and they mixed the ovum and the sperm from both these people, and there came out Vasishtha and Agastya. Okay, you do not ask me what is the logic behind it, how did they do that and stuff like that, because it's unknown how they have done that. But one thing for sure is that it's not a natural birth. Uh, Urvashi did not carry uh, the Agastya or the Vasishtha for the 9 month thing, which usually our mothers did for us. Okay, so these people are test tube babies, Varuna and I'm sorry, Agastya and Vasishtha. All right. So we have, I mean, there will be a big story. I'm not because the time is limited. I'm not trying to explain it to you in very detail. If you would need, it's a pretty simple thing. Just go and click. Even there is one story here, Nimi Vasishtha and Gautama's story, because Vasishtha went into hiding. Okay, between Mitra and Varuna, Vasishtha was actually hiding inside, and once Vasishtha died and got a rebirth, there will be a lot of big story inside it. Because Vasishtha was hiding inside the pair of Varuna and Mitra. That's why I'm saying that a lot of things are hidden in this nakshatra. Anuradha is a nakshatra which promotes, secrecy, hidden nature, not trying to reveal emotions, not trying to make people know what they are up for. Okay, all this is all Anuradha. Okay. And okay, so you can click on this. You have this story. It's a nice story. It's a big one. Nimi, Vasishtha, and Gautama story. So you can go back and hear to that. Okay. So Dharmaraja, the Yudhishthira, whom we call Dharmaraja in the South India and Yudhishthira in the North India. All right, it's the same person. He's an embodiment of truth and honesty. He's called as Ajata Shatru. Okay, he has always been helping everyone. Even the Duryodhana, he did not have anything bad about him. He always thought, let Duryodhana also become a good man. Either he becomes a good one or not. My job is to help him out all through. Okay, so but Duryodhana always betrayed this man Yudhishthira for his own reasons of the kingdom. So Yudhishthira suffered a lot of setbacks in his life. He lost his kingdom, went into exile. Okay, and they were also doing the Ajnatavas, wherein they cannot reveal their identities, and they have to live in the forest or some place where they cannot reveal their original names uh, and things like that, of any of their details they cannot reveal there. So they have always been facing all these issues. And at last, when the war came, like the Kurukshetra happened, Yudhishthira did not want a war. He always wanted peace amongst all the siblings. However, he had to wage the war. Okay, so most of the times these people do not like wars. Okay, Anuradha people do not like wars, but they're forced into wars. And they do not want to talk lies, but unless they talk lies and use some force, use something, some adharma techniques, it's very difficult for them to actually win, because this is Kali Yuga and a lot of people are plotting against honest people. Okay, so sometimes the person has to use just not the Sama and Dana, but also Danda. Samadana, Bheda and Danda, right? Danda is actually punishing someone. So you may have to use Bheda and Danda. All right. So, Yudhishthira, the greatness of this person is, of the whole Mahabharata, the only person who went to heaven with his body. Even the Krishna did not go to heaven with his body. He had to die and then go to heaven. But with such, we call it Sasharira. With the Sharira, this man, Yudhishthira, is the only man who could go up, because there came a planquin or a flight from the heaven to carry Dharmaraja for all his good deeds. Okay, so this man Yudhishthira is the center point of the story, and you have Agastya and Vasishtha, of which usually, Okay, it's difficult to distinguish who is the son of whom, but Vasishtha and Agastya are the sons of Mitra and Varuna, of which usually Agastya is called as Mitra's son, Vasishtha is called as Varuna's son. How do we remember it? V and V, Varuna, Vasishtha. Okay, this is a usual thing. There's no clarity over this. Okay, if you try to look into the scriptures, it will not be very clear. But as far as I have understood this, more traits of Agastya are coming in Scorpio, and more traits of Varuna and Vasishtha are coming in the uh, Satabhisha. All right. So you have triangular love stories, which I said just now, and test tube babies, and then Shiva's marriage is one thing which Agastya was a witness. So what happened was when Shiva's marriage was announced with Parvati, a lot of people had to travel to Kailasa, even from the southern side. So what Shiva did was he called upon Agastya and said, Agastya, please travel back to south. What happens is a lot of people are coming to my marriage, and if all of the people on the earth assemble at one place, Kailasha, unless you are on the southern side, the bhumi or the earth is actually going off the track. So you better be on the southern side. It means that Agastya is equal to all the people that are placed on the earth, including the Shiva and the Parvati. So he could balance out everyone just standing on the other side. So you can understand the kind of power these people can have. Uh, I mean, just not the physical strength I'm talking about. It can be anything. I mean, they can match like 100 people, just not the physical strength, but maybe on the knowledge and the mental agony they can take, the kind of the hustling that they can do. Okay, all these things are important because the mental hustle, the agony that is going to come in Anuradha is huge. They have to face a lot of issues. All right, so you have one more thing that the Agastya has. He drank the whole of the oceans, all of the oceans. He drank in one gulp, and he revealed all the demons so that Indra could, get rid of all those demons. And Agastya's wife is Lopamudra. Lopamudra. She is the royal princess. Okay, she married Agastya. There is also a story behind it. Agastya only had, got her and all that stuff. You can read it. However, what I would want to say is the woman of or the spouse of Anuradha from here, what we understand is she's a princess. That means she's a Kshatriya. Kshatriya is the kingly caste, and Agastya is a Brahman. Okay, who's a priestly caste. So when these two got together, when they have married, what happened is usually the kingly people have got luxuries at home, right? And the Brahmins are the poorer people. They don't have any luxuries at home. So they have to manage everything on their own. The kingly people would have maids, servants, and everything. And moreover, Agastya is a person who is constantly working. He is continuously doing penance, tapasya, and stuff like that. So she had to manage the home alone. If if it so happens that the seventh connection or the first connection happens to be in Anuradha for women, they would keep complaining that my husband is not, not giving his hand or to help me out either in the any of the domestic activities. It could be anything, maybe just bringing vegetables home to make some food, none of the groceries, or maybe helping in the kitchen, or maybe helping in the daily chores. Nothing he does because he's so busy at the office. Okay, this can be one reason why there can be divorces, just in case there are any divorces for Anuradha thing. Okay, I'm not saying Anuradha will get a divorce. Okay, do not take me wrong here. You have to be careful when you're pronouncing a divorce or anything that can go wrong with any of the nakshatras. All of the 27 are good. All of the 27 are equally bad. Okay, do not think a certain nakshatra is promoting divorce and certain nakshatras are not. Yes, there are a few. However, this nakshatra is not a promoter of a divorce. However, there are betrayals. Due to that, there are divorces or there are separations, forceful separations for whatever reasons. Or there is a no divorce, but there is a lot of compromise because the husband is not actually helping her at home. The woman is doing the whole stuff, and the husband is constantly working somewhere, day shift, night shift, continuous shifts for 3 days, 4 days, and there is some or the other thing the woman is facing here. Okay, all right, and we have. The children as well, as I said, there can be like, test tube babies or issues with having children, or there can be very good children. All three are possible. Okay. Now let's look at the traits. Usually healthy body, healthy life in general. Because Agastya, if you see, he's a short man. However, he's very healthy, as I just told you. He's a short man. Agastya is the shortest of all the sages. Okay, likes to get a good name at all the places. This is both a good trait and a bad trait because if you're trying to make everybody happy, then you have to sometimes sacrifice more because you're trying to make the other person happy. Okay, wants to be overly honest and sometimes may have to use crooked ways to win. Otherwise, most of the times this person is losing because he's trying to please others. He's trying to please every time the other person. So if let's suppose two people did some business, this fellow, the Anuradha man, would say, "Look, I would take 30 rupees, you take 70 rupees because you did the most work." In fact, most work was done by this Anuradha man, but he would give away 70 rupees to the other person. And the other person would actually say, "Yes, what you said is right. I did most of the work, despite not having done anything." Okay. Like Vishaka, the first love or the relationship can be a failure usually, or there is a compromise in the relationship. And many people betray the native for being honest. Extremely powerful people, like the Vishakhas. These people are also extremely powerful. No matter how much ever problems they face, they are going to get back and on their feet and do the work. Okay, constantly achieving. And most important point here is when they are trying to achieve something, they will still push their target even further. They'll push it. Okay, if let us suppose after 2 years I get a job of 1 lakh, I'm very happy. He would say today. Once he gets that 1 lakh thing, he will say, "No, look, one lakh with today's inflation and stuff is not enough. I think I should get 5 lakhs." Now his target is 5 times more than what he said 2 years before. So he's pushing himself too much. Okay. Then constantly achieving, women face some issues, transformative life that comes up after marriage. If the seventh house gets connected here, even though there are no divorces or anything, but what we can see most of the times is the person has changed completely after marriage. If the seventh gets connected to Anuradha, how exactly from North Pole to South Pole, his life changes. Okay, there is a big drift in the life, complete transformation of life. Not always onto the south side. No. It could be onto the positive side as well. Okay. Losing an alliance due to looks. Yes, this is one more major trait I'm seeing. If the seventh lord or the first lord falls in the Anuradha thing, look, I don't look that great. That's why not many people are coming into alliances, or not many people after having. I mean, right now, in the Indian context, if we see there is, what is that called? The alliances for the marriage are up there, right? There are WhatsApp groups, exchanging profiles and stuff like that. Once the profile suits, then they will come in touch with the parents of the girl or the boy and ask for a photograph. Once the image is given, usually there is a no because the woman is not looking that good, or the woman is rejecting, or the boy is rejecting because she looks so very good. It can be both ways. Okay. Forced into fights, although who does not like fights? Treaties, friendship bonds, documents are an issue. Okay. Another thing what I have seen with Anuradha is the treaties or the documents of bonds. what happens is, let's suppose I'll give you a classic example. There are three people who are into business. They started a business. So they got an investor. The investor is Anuradha. Let us suppose there are two other people. Let's not talk about what they are. So there are two other people. The investor is Anuradha. The Anuradha would be said, look, you would be promised X percentage. You please take this. I mean, give us the money. We'll give you X percentage. We'll do the work and we'll give you back the investment that you gave, and also your share would be like 15%. As long as the company is not making money, okay, his 15% would remain, or 20% would remain. Whereas once the company starts making money, when the real money has to come to him, the other two partners would say, look, we need more investment or something, or the other thing, you may have to dilute your share. And he would always be on the losing side. Okay. These things usually happen, and he would actually accept it because that's the situation. You cannot help it. They may need more investment because they're getting more orders, and that's why the Anuradha gets the hit. Or he must have thought, okay, I may get so many crores of rupees, but no, sometimes he may have to compromise a little bit on the outcome. Okay, and what else do we have? Okay, so these people are very good strategists. Okay, Anuradha people cannot do the work. I mean, they are not the spearheads for work. So let's suppose if you have a sales job wherein he has to go to a customer, take an initiative to go to a customer, because salespeople jobs, if you see, I work closely with my salespeople, so I understand them. I'm very poor at sales. So salespeople would need initiative. That means no matter whoever he is, they have to make an approach. There is a customer, if there is a potential in a customer from where we can pick a business, then he has to take that initiative, approach the customer, get that business somehow. But Anuradha cannot do that because for their own thing, I mean, what would he think? I mean, I'm friends with him. Maybe he would mind for it. I don't think, because I read somewhere, you know, you can make friends out of business, but you cannot make business out of friends. So let me not do that. Okay, this fellow is trying to be overly honest. Okay, so you cannot employ a person onto a sales job. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. It will come in the fifth. It will come in the fifth one. Wait for it. Onto a uh, when the thing comes up for the sales job, do not try to employ an Anuradha fellow, because it's too difficult for him to actually come out of that honesty thing and do a sales, because salespersons have to actually give the customer an illusion. Look, if you come to us, this is what we're going to provide, much better than the other competition. And most of the times, what happens is they are no better than the competitions, and most of the times they are worse than the competition, or they are just at par with the competition. But most of the times, salespeople will tell you, look, we are much better than our competition for these reasons. They may be right. However, they are hiding 10 things wherein they are very, very poor at when they are compared with the competition. All right. I'll come to that, sir. I got your message. I saw that message, but I'll come to that. So the symbols are female deer. So being afraid for everything. You have seen that in Mrigashira. So the female deer is here. Mrigashira is a male deer. Female deer is here. So this is even more afraid, because deers are the most, afraid animals. And male, you have seen Rakshira. They do not want to take new routes. They want to take, proven routes. Always afraid to talk something. Always afraid to start or initiate something. Okay. So, and whatever we are going to say, it is predictable. All this we have talked about in the Mrigashira. They are not willing to drive into new routes. Okay. And then the triumphal archway or archway. I'm not very sure if I'm pronouncing it to be right. Okay, archway, I think. Natives may be in a gated community, like the Vishaka as well. These people can also be in a gated community, or willing to go to a gated community very soon. And trying to learn lessons from everything. Okay. and then who inherits a lot of money from their parents. So this is a good nakshatra for inheritance. Okay, and these people are more creative than having leadership skills. So they're not leaders. Okay, you cannot put them into leadership jobs. These people are very creative. You can ask them to strategize things. So you can say, look, what each fellow has got to do. You tell me. I mean, just forget the people, because if you try to tell him, ask him, how do X work? How does the Y work? Or how does Z work? If they are people, how does this department work? That department work? The other department work? As long as you're not naming the people, Anuradha is more comfortable talking about it for the process, not for the people. So he's very good strategist. All right. So I'm talking about the first house. The first house is not a leader. He's a creative person. Keep him on the creative side. And when the Yudhishthira went into Ajnatavasa, into the Virata's kingdom, okay, Yudhishthira said, look, Arjuna, you be a Bruhannala, okay, teaching dance. Look, Bhima, you be a Valana, who is actually in the kitchen trying to cook something, okay, and Panchali, you be the hairdresser, okay. So it was this man, Yudhishthira, who tried to convince everyone and made a strategy how to live that one whole year in the Ajnatavasa without having to reveal their names. Okay. He's an honest person, and that's the problem. Actually, sometimes honesty is also a problem. Okay. So just keep that in mind. I mean, never think honesty is the best policy. I mean, don't go by those sayings. Okay, now you are looking at it from the perspective of both the sides, from the spiritual side and also the material side. If one of those is suffering, then the person is going to come back and ask you, look, I'm suffering. Can you please help me out? That's why people reach out to astrologers. They always come with a problem, not with something that they are good at, right? So you may have to then point out and say, look, if you're not negotiating well at the start of the business, when you're trying to put money into the business, then yes, you may have to suffer for it. So they'll do that once or twice, they'll fall, and then they're going to rise and say, look, this is my money, this much is the share I'm looking at. And they will be very clear with that. And they'll try to move into Jeshka thing, which I'll explain in the next week. Okay. Bothers more about the physical appearance. If something is packed very well and served to them, they like it. If the package is not very good, Anuradha doesn't like it. Okay. And they can lead a change and transformation. Wow, this is a very good point. If something has to be changed somewhere, they will be jumping in joy. Okay, they want to lead that change. Only something which is a change, because Dharmaraja, look at him. All that time he has been keeping quiet. When the Ajnatavasa came, he said, "Look, I'm going to direct everyone right now. You all have to obey me, sit and do what I'm instructing," because they're getting into a change. They have not done that before, and they have been a kingly people, or they've been living in the forest. But the first time they're into Ajnatavasa, that's when Dharmaraja took control and said, look, you all have to do this. Okay. Handling extreme pressure, they'll be happy in life and will reach success. No matter what happens, these people are always happy. Unless there are afflictions here with Ketu, with I don't know, Ketu is what I have seen mostly. Ketu is it's an Anuradha along with the Lagna in both the places. That's when these people are a little on the sorrow side. Otherwise, they would actually, कुछ नहीं हुआ, चलते हैं, आगे बढ़ते हैं. We have to keep progressing. Okay, nothing happened. Let's progress in life. This is what is the statement. Then as the second house, this is another problematic place where you cannot have Anuradha talking the truth or hiding the truth. Okay, both can be possible. So they have, like I said, the seventh lord in the second house of a Libra Lagna, seventh lord in the second house. They're hiding the relationship and they're not honest with their parents. Okay, they're hiding it. So these people are neither very rich nor very poor. They are of the middle class stature. And most of the times, even in the first house, I have seen that these people have fallen down, and that's when they are seeking the astrological help, looking for something. I mean, look, I've been doing very great, but I have actually fallen down. Am I going to, rock back? Is what they would ask. You have to, tell them, yes, you're going to rock back for sure. You be clear on all these things, and by the time you tell them, they're already ready with the reasons for them, and they know why they have failed. Okay, so honest, soft spoken. Yeah, despite being honest, and these people are actually soft spoken. They don't talk harshly like the Chitra or Jeshta. Jeshta is a very harsh person. Um, they have a bossy voice. Chitra and Jeshta are ruled by Indra, so they have a very bossy voice. All right. So fifth house may be having issues with progeny. They may have issues of fallopian tubes blockage, or they may have twin children. Okay, or they have children who are trying to struggle and aiming at getting their wealth lost. These children are actually have lost wealth. As I said, they have fallen down and they're trying to rise up in life. So somebody asked me a question. Let me just see. I mean, I would request just store your question because I'm not looking at the chat thing always. So can you kindly explain little more on the test tube baby point? As I said, if the fallopian tubes are blocked, okay, you have to. I have done a very big video on how to check how to check issues of progeny from the Saptamsha. See, there are no children. There is an article, study Saptamsha children. You have to study this article wholly, okay? You cannot jump into conclusion just by looking at Anuradha and there is a problem. No, never do that. I would never recommend such things. There are set of rules to check childlessness. I've given a clear-cut article. Nothing is missed out here. Everything is clearly written down. This has been checked for at least 200 or more than 400 horoscopes, not from just my side. All of the students who learn from me have checked it from their sides as well, and all have said yes, all these rules are working, but you have to apply them all together. Just can't be jumping with one thing, just on the thing. I mean, if the does not answer your question, you can please open up your mic and ask me what exactly are you looking at. It will be helpful for everyone too. So three possibilities here are one is having fallopian tube blockages. Second is having twin children, or the children are struggling in life at the juncture, at the middle age, when they are about 35, 40. They are actually successful before that. They've fallen down at 35 or 40, and they're trying to rise once again. Okay. Does this answer your question, sir? I don't know. Okay. I don't look at the chart, so just be free enough to open up your mic and say so.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You got it.
I'm
Okay.
clear. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so just in case you've joined just today, so how we look at it is, we look at the dispositor of the house lord first, and then we look at the cusp of the house, and finally the lord of the house. So if the fifth lord dispositor falls into Anuradha, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so first important thing would be the fifth lord's dispositor. You have to look at that. Then the cusp of the fifth house. Finally, the lord of the fifth house. If I see that the fifth lord of if the fifth lord is in Anuradha, I wouldn't bother much because that's the least contributing factor for the fifth house. Fifth lord is least contributor. Fifth cusp is a little higher, and the highest rank goes to fifth lord's dispositor. You have to identify where the fifth lord is, find out the lord of that sign where the fifth lord is placed, and look at in which nakshatra that planet is placed in. Then you get the best idea of how the kids are. And these are base level energies. If there is a problem in the base level energy, it means that there is an 80% chance of something happening for it. Like we may have fallopian tube blockage, or you may have twins, or you may have, either of this will come into play. Okay. All right. Many people are against the native. So sixth house connections. Many people are plotting against the native. Native is honest, will be out of issues. Sometimes, unless he's a little dishonest, it's difficult to actually handle bad people. Okay, this is very difficult for Anuradha because they cannot handle such situations to be unfriendly with anyone or trying to be harsh with anyone. Very difficult for them. They cannot say anything harshly. If they try to say harsh things, they are gonna cry first. They would cry and may say in disgust. They cannot say anything rudely. Okay. Seventh house, as I said, there can be triangular love stories. The first thing. Second is betrayal from the love. And in case of women, what I have seen is the women are actually trying to accommodate herself with a man who is constantly busy or a different culture. The man, let's suppose the woman is like a very religious woman, wherein she gets up at 4, does all the chores, and she has the puja room and stuff like that. And this man is like, is an alcoholic, gets up at 8:30 for an office, which is at 9:30, rushes in the morning, and then comes back home late. By the time this woman would be sleeping, when he comes home back, she has to, place all the dinner on the table, feed him, and then, put him to sleep and stuff like that. So there is a little mismatch in the culture that can happen. And this woman is trying to accommodate him because she cannot say no or try to be cruel with him. He cannot command over him saying, look, you can't be so late. Look, I'm sleeping every day. This is an everyday affair for you. How are you doing this? It's difficult for these people to say such things. All right. You have the eighth house. Eighth house, these people are very, very happy to have eighth house things. Unless, it shows any. Because as I say, the eighth house has to, one good example I can give you is the Aries Lagna. You have the first lord in the eighth house. A lot of people think this is a super combination. No, most of the times it is not, because the Lagna lord is in the eighth house. The Dispositer as well is in the eighth house. This is not always a very good combination. It can be very good for people who are into astrology, into research, trying to explore out some things which are hidden right now from the people, so which is not available for the people. They're working on those things. It's a very good combination. Assuming you have the Mercury as well added into it, the Lagna Lord is Mars, Mesha is the Lagna, placed in Anuradha in the eighth house, along with the sixth Lord, Mercury, in Anuradha. Both in Anuradha would mean there is a disease for the person which which is not being able to diagnose. You're not able to diagnose it, especially when the Navamsha Lagna is of a Mercurian sign, because that's when the Navamsha Lagna Adhipati is going to be in the eighth house in the D1 chart. I have given about these things in the last class, how to identify disease. So do not think the 6th-8th lords combination is going to give you Viparit Raj Yoga and all that stuff. Not every time it is going to come. And Viparit Raj Yogas are not for people of today. Viparit Raj Yoga would mean something which used to be there about 200, 300 years ago for kings who were trying to, go on to the other kingdoms, and they're going to get all the wealth and women from there. So what would the Viparit Raj Yoga definition would give you is success after someone's losses. So why do you expect somebody has to be lost for you to be successful? That happens only with kings, and there are no kings today. We are ordinary people. So ordinary people having the 6th-8th lord combination along with the first lord would mean something is wrong with the native, either from the health side or from the financial side. He's actually hustling and bustling. He's actually trying to get up in his life and failing most of the times. Adding to that, you have to always look at the Navamsha and then only confirm whether it is a health problem or a money problem. But there is some problem with the native for sure. You can say that if there are 6th, 8th, 1st Lord combination together. So the health problem comes up when there is, as I said, the Lagna in the Navamsha also happens to be a Mercurian sign because the Mercury is in the 8th house in the D1 chart. Okay, most of the people are just looking at the D1 chart and trying to explain that, look, this is why this problem has come. I don't buy such things because if the person is born in, let's suppose in a Cancer Navamsha, in the same chart as I said, he would not have any of these issues. Maybe his mother is not feeling that great. Okay, so that changes a lot because the D1 would remain the same. Just the Navamsha Lagna has changed. Anyway, so we have the 9th house. Father suffered some betrayals from partners or contractual agreement conditions. That's why he could not do much well at the early or the midlife crisis that he might face. And in the post-life thing, he's earned well, and like the Vishakha, which I've explained to you last time. Okay, 10th house, a huge strategist. He would be very, very secretive to be holding formulas. Okay, somebody like a chemical engineer would be holding formulas. Somebody could be a spy, secretively doing something because Anuradha is a secretive thing. And honest at work, cannot initiate work. This guy can work on a technical department where research is important for them. He would do very well there, but he's very poor at doing sales or stuff like that. Spy thing is very good for him. But these are very base level things. Okay, you still have to look at the D10 chart. Without looking at the D10 chart, you cannot talk about the 10th house or the job thing. You combine the thing in the D1 or the 10th house, which I just talked about. Look at the dispositor of the 10th Lord, and then the 10th house cusp. Finally, the 10th Lord. Mix up all these three, you get a theme for the 10th or the job, how his job is going to be on the baseline. Now look at the D10 chart, also combine it with the D9 chart to see when he has issues with money, because money basically comes with the D9 chart. D10 will tell you if he's employed or not. So you can just correlate all three charts and say these are the times the person is unemployed and these are the times he's employed, or employed and paid less, or employed and paid more. Okay, it can all happen. Missed at work. 11th house, elder brother is honest. Sometimes, because even the 11th house would indicate salary. So the person could be earning because of spy work or, maintaining secrets and stuff like that. Enemies are hidden. Even diseases are hidden. Okay, if something gets connected to Anuradha for a disease can be seen from 6th house, 8th house, 12th house, all three. Okay, so, and even the 11th house, because 11th house happens to be the 6th from the 6th. So sometimes even 11th house dispositor being in Anuradha. The problem with these people is diagnosis cannot reveal what went wrong, and they would keep searching, what actually is wrong with them. And most of the times they'll come with this problem. If it's a long-term thing, long-term disease, it will be with the 8th house. 8th house dispositor placed in Anuradha. However, there has to be either the 6th connection or the 11th connection for it to be a disease. Just having the 8th house dispositor in Anuradha cannot give you a disease. Okay? The 6th house has to influence it, because 8th house can give you long-term thing. So if it connects with the 6th house, it becomes a long-term disease. If it connects with the 10th house, it becomes a long-time trouble for the 10th house. Okay, because 6th house would mean good health as well. So having a good 6th house would mean good health. So a lot of people think that 6th house is a bad house, or 12th house is a bad house, or 8th house is a bad house. No, it's not like that. All 12 houses are equally bad. All 12 houses are equally good. Unless, and as an astrologer, if you accept this, every day you get hundreds of horoscopes, and 99 of them you can't resolve. All right. I have given enough of lecture. Anybody has any feedback of Anuradha If you have seen any traits to be matching, you're free enough to say, comment.
Sir, I have moon in Anuradha.
Okay.
Moon is my 12th lord, and but irrespective, since moon, with most of what you said rings true for me.
Can you please,
I can
can you please tell me what is the Lagna first?
Leo Lagna.
Okay, you have a Leo Lagna and you have a
Yeah,
fourth house, right?
correct, correct.
Okay. Okay. Where is the cusp of the Leo Lagna?
Cusp, it is also in cusp of the Leo Lagna is Purva Falguni. Sir.
Okay. Purva Phalguni is the cusp of the Leo Lagna. Okay. And
Correct.
you have moon in Anuradha. Okay. So do you
Yes.
have any planets in Cancer?
No, I do not.
Okay. So moon is not dispositing any planet. So
Correct.
this is far good. So you have, yes, go ahead now. Tell me. What is that you have?
So a lot of things that you said, life can be challenging, but I think I always find a way to be happy,
Okay.
and always trying to do more, do better. And a couple of things stood out. One was life after marriage was very transformative. That is for sure. The connection I saw was Moon's dispositor. Mars is in seventh house. I don't know if that adds to it, but that was definitely a big change. And the second thing, sir, you said the first relationship might not always work out, but in my case, I ended up marrying the first person I was in a relationship with. So
Okay.
that did not, but that was the only thing. I mean, I think you touched on 100 points or so, but everything else was
I'll
correct.
tell you the reason as well for it, because see, your seventh lord dispositor is not in Anuradha. I said the first thing is
Correct.
your seventh lord dispositor should be in Anuradha. Otherwise, it won't work.
Okay. 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 That was the seven connection for it to not. Okay, got it. But yeah, life it's always challenging, and especially the lotus analogy. I think I always resonate with that. And the betrayal, I would say, even though it was not from the relationship aspect, some immediate family members, I have experienced that. I have some bitter experiences on that. So that was also true as well.
Okay. Okay. And you have no regrets for life, right?
Absolutely no, absolutely not. And
That's,
yeah,
that's one of the
sometimes
best
too
things.
honest. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the best things Anuradha is up for. I mean, no regrets for life. I mean, I have lived my
Yes.
life. Okay, there are a few
Yes.
betrayals, there are few failures, there are success always after failures. Keep pushing. Would you keep
Correct.
pushing the targets upwards when you try to reach them?
Correct.
Is that okay?
Yes, yes, yes. And sir, one more thing, right? You said in mid of your life, like I had a very good job. I had a government job. I gave it all up for studies and everything. I moved abroad. So I literally turned my life upside down, even though I had a very stable life. So that what you said is also correct, applicable in my life.
आराम का जिंदगी पसंद नहीं है. I mean, you don't like to.
Yeah.
You,
Yes. Yes.
okay. All right.
Thanks,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would want to share something? Yes, sir.
Mine also is Anuradha, sir. Lagna
Okay.
is Tula.
Okay.
Most of it are matching. All other planets are in different stars. Only Moon is in Anuradha. That,
Okay.
Tula
Do you
Lagna.
have any
Yes.
planets in? Do you have any planets in Cancer?
No.
Okay. So that way, so Moon is not dispositing any planet, so it is not carrying any of the Lord's energies. So just Moon is in Anuradha. Okay. So
Yeah.
can you please tell me what all that you have seen that is matching with what I have explained right now?
Most of it, first off, not even, okay, 60% of my life started with struggles, and I always learn from my mistakes, and then no regrets for my mistakes. Yes, there is no one to guide, so I made a mistake. I've recovered from that, and then tried to overcome the raising the bar every time. That's my internal characters. Every time I
Right.
try to achieve more than what I have achieved in the past. I always try to learn more and more. Lot of inquisitiveness into things that are like like astrology. Which is not known to many people. So I always like to learn such things so that we can.
So
Uh,
can you comment anything on either on the secretive, because it's your 10th lord is in Anuradha, right?
Correct.
You're a Tula Lagna, so your 10th lord is in Anuradha. That would mean your job would demand something Anuradha quality. So trying to be honest with everyone, or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
try to be okay.
Yeah, correct. Most of my career I was into HR. I am into HR right now. Also, I'm HR consultant. So I need to be maintain a lot of confidentiality in the
Oh,
sense from the perspective of management in terms of what they are planning to do. And at the
oh,
same time, I have to be a bridge between management and the teams or employees. So I need to be honest every time so that both will believe.
excellent feedback. I think
Yeah.
we have to include these lines actually. So that's what
Yeah.
Mitra could stand for. So somebody is trying to be honest to the person who is actually interviewing as an HR. At the
Yes.
same time, he has to maintain a lot of confidentiality with the company he is representing. I mean, awesome. This is something which I have not thought about. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all through my life, I had to maintain it. Sometimes what happens, they'll say, the close friends or inner circle, they say, you don't reveal, we are very close to you. So
Right.
that's my job. So I can't, if I,
Mhm.
start disclosing even 1% of
Then
it,
you would be
management will
dishonest with
lose
the
trust.
employer. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You would be dishonest.
I cannot do justice to my job.
Oh, right. Right.
So people accepted me who knows me. And yes, betrayals were there, and betrayal from the very close family members sometimes. So right now I'm going through that actually. Hope for the
Okay.
best with God's grace. Every time I fall, He is pulling me and then
Yeah.
moving me forward. So
That's the
that's
theme
how it
of the
is.
life, for at least for the job thing. I mean, uh, however, most thing would depend on the dispositor of the moon. So, where is your Mars?
Mars is in seventh place in Aries, along with Sun.
Okay, is he in Bharani or is he in Ashwini?
One minute. He's in Bharani.
Okay, so I have done a video on Bharani, just to give you a, what do you call, heads up. So, is
Okay.
that Bharani, if it's connected to the 10th house, it would mean the first few years you would get a very good boss who is trying to teach you a lot and maybe protect you for the mistakes or something that you might do at office. And when the that mentor boss who you had, if he left, you would have cried. Did that happen?
Yes. In fact, the first job I cried whole
Yeah.
day. The first and second also. First and second. That was they were the I was at 2021. I don't know. I had to leave for my prospects, but I could not leave because of the emotional attachment I had. So whole night they have mentored me and taught me. Yes, we are also feeling bad, but you go. It's your progress. We don't want to stop it. Low. So they encouraged me to move on. So that's how I have grown. Yes, you are right. They taught me a lot of things. They taught me the discipline. They taught me the value of time and respect for others.
Go,
I
go
learned a
back and
lot from them.
go back and hear this lecture on Bharani. It came excellently well in both in Telugu and English.
Sure,
Uh,
sure, sir.
I would recommend you because you're conversant with both the languages, listen to both of them, because sometimes what happens is some points are not covered in the English side and some are not in the Telugu side because it happens because it's a huge thing for
Okay.
for the nakshatra significations. Just
Mhm.
as he said, because this is called as prediction. Because you just
Yeah.
told me only 2 planets, and I gave you what happened at your place.
Yeah. So another thing always, bothers me, or I keep bothering more is, I'm so honest. And still people, some people say we cannot trust you, we cannot do that. I don't know if they cannot trust me, who will they trust? I always, counsel myself and then move on. This I face sometimes.
Okay. Okay. This is a common thing for Anuradha because confidentiality is a clause that actually bothers
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Somebody else? Oh, not much of feedback this time. Little surprised.
Sir, actually, I joined a bit late, but I do know my cousin is Anuradha. Since I joined late, I'm not able to confirm, but maybe I can share next time after I hear the recording.
Okay. Okay. Please comment on the comment section of the video. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure.
It may be useful to more people. The idea is to
Yeah.
actually educate more people.
Right, right. Yeah, my cousin is, so I will listen to it and I'll comment. Yeah.
Good. So I mean, just don't go just by the moon sign. Always have look at the planets and look at what is it dispositing. Based on that, if it's dispositing the seventh lord, you have the seventh connection. Second lord, you have the second connection. First lord, you have the first lagna connection. That means it's for you. If the first lord dispositor is an Anuradha, it's about you. So based on that, you have to look at.
Sir, he's Aries Lagna, so Anuradha Moon, 4th Lord and 8th house.
Okay. So are there planets in Cancer? That's what we have to look for.
He
That's
does
the
not
first.
have any planet in Cancer.
So if there are planets in Cancer and Moon happens to be an Anuradha, that's a very good thing because Moon is dispositing all those planets into Anuradha, and all that planets will have Anuradha, more Anuradha. Okay, that's how we have to
Oh,
look.
okay. Okay, in that case, probably not because he does not have any Cancer
So you have to pick
placement.
up all the charts that you have. Look at the planets in Scorpio, just not the Moon. Okay, look at
Right,
planets,
right.
just not the Moon, and you have to see. Let's suppose you saw Jupiter in Anuradha. Immediately, what you have to check is what are the planets in Sagittarius and Pisces. Okay.
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 And see what are they lording. For example, okay, let me just pick up one chart because we have completed the lecture.
Sir, I know one case, Taurus ascendant, Jupiter Anuradha, but I don't know really how to interpret that.
So the first thing is you have to look at whether they have you have planets in the Jupiterian rasis. Jupiterian rasis are Sagittarius and Pisces. So if there is a
Yes,
planet,
sir. He has moon. He has moon in Uttara Bhadrapada.
okay, he
Pisces.
has moon in Pisces, right? So moon
Yeah.
is the third lord. So now the third lord is in third has more to do with the Anuradha. Okay.
Okay.
Because the
Okay.
third lord is moon and moon is in Jupiterian sign, and now I'm picking up Jupiter, it's placed in Anuradha. So the third house gets more of Anuradha properties, followed by the cusp of the third house is in, you have to see whether it is in Punarvasu or in Pushyami or in Aslesha. Okay. Wherever the cusp falls, you have to identify that. Add up that along with this, and then add the final thing is the Uttarabhadra, the third moon. But most of the traits, 60 to 70% traits will come now for the third house from the Anuradha thing. It means that for the example which you just gave me, it means that the siblings are secretive. They don't share much of the emotions with anyone, and they are very honest.
Mm-hmm. He has one elder brother. I don't know if that elder brother is secretive or not, but they are pretty friendly with each other.
Okay. Honest, friendly, that's the Mitra thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But still, you have to add up to whether it falls in Pushyami or Aslesha or Punarvasu. They can alter the whole thing because cusp is also important. You have to add up cusp to it.
Okay.
So how you see is okay. I've got the chart of just now. Okay, I've just picked up this chart. How you see is let's suppose you want to talk about sixth house in this case. Okay, let's suppose you have to talk about sixth house. So what you do is you go to the sixth house, sixth lord, and dispositor. Sixth house is the Virgo, right? Virgo is here. Whoever is looking at this chart, Virgo is here. Count from here, six houses. Sixth house, Lord is Mercury, it's here. Along with that, you have to see the Lord of this sign. This sign is ruled by Sun. So, sixth house is mostly influenced by Sun. So, you have to find out Sun is in which nakshatra. So, Purva Phalguni. So, if you talk about the sixth house, 60% result comes from Purva Phalguni, followed by the cusp of this house, the cusp of the sixth house. Because it's in the Ashwini first charana, first pada, the cusp of the sixth house will also be in the first charana that falls in this sign. The first charana of this sign will be Uttara Phalguni, second pada. Okay, if you do not know this, you have to sit down. Maybe it takes about 3-4 hours for you to understand which charana falls at which place. These are pretty easy. Once done, you will memorize them. So the Uttara Phalguni, second charana, and add up the Purva Phalguni Sun, the sixth lord dispositor rather. So Purva Phalguni Sun and the cusp is Uttara Phalguni. You have to add up these two and then talk about the sixth house. So sixth house can mean diseases. Sixth house can mean routine work. How is his routine? Okay, Uttara Phalguni, the routine of an Uttara Phalguni fellow or a Purva Phalguni fellow. How is it? It means that the person is very disciplined. He wakes up early. He sleeps early at night. These are all some of the few traits. Okay, some can be missing while I'm explaining the nakshatras because it's so huge. Nakshatras have huge significations. If you understand them, very good. Okay. Similarly, if you want to talk about the seventh house, what a lot of people are doing here is look, the seventh lord here is Venus. Venus is debilitated, so the married life of the person is bad. No, if this way you're interpreting charts, it means that you should say goodbye to charts and sleep somewhere. Please don't do that. Okay. How we should interpret that is look at the seventh lord. The seventh lord is placed in the sixth. Do not go debilitation. Do not take sixth house, anything. Seventh lord is placed in Hasta Nakshatra, which is Virgo. The lord of Virgo is Mercury. Mercury is in the Magha Nakshatra. Okay. So it is mostly because of Magha. How Magha is, based on that it will be. Okay. So there is a shloka for Magha. There are traits explained in Magha. Based on that, it will be. Due to any reason, if there is a divorce in Magha or something, it's difficult to get remarried. Okay, these are one of the traits. Okay, then you also add up what does the seventh house cusp would mean. Her seventh house cusp falls in Chitra. Chitra would stand for honesty and talking truth or lies. So the partner is talking lies. That's why I have a problem with her. Or the partner is very good. That's why I'm very happy with her. Both can happen. Okay. The partner is shouting because Chitra is Indra. Indrasya Chitra, Rutam Parasta. Ruta means chillana, somebody who is shouting. So the partner is shouting. Okay. You can talk everything about it within the D1 itself and then use D9 as well to confirm whether there is a divorce or not. But never say that the seventh lord is debilitated, and that's why there is a divorce. Or seventh lord is in the sixth house, that's why there is a divorce. No, most of the times, if this is the case, seventh lord in the sixth house in the hasta can also give you a wife who is working. Okay, a working spouse can also have the same combination. So it's good, right? So these two people are working and getting more money into the family. It's a good thing. So you cannot differentiate in the D1. It's extremely difficult if you're just using houses. If you're using nakshatras, maybe you can decipher something and you would know where is the problem. If the person is talking lies, if the partner is talking lies, if this is a man and this opposite side would be a woman, right? So if his wife talks lies, this fellow would be very, furious on her. That's one thing. Or this wife could be very, very shouting for any small thing that happens. And she always wants very orderly thing, everything to be placed in order. यार बिस्तर नहीं बनाता है तुम यहाँ वहाँ फेंक देते हो चीजें. These are all the things she would keep complaining. So I would think, okay, Shruti might not know Hindi, so for you, uh, you know, the person is very unorganized. He keeps throwing things here and there. These are the complaints for Chitra, because Rutam would mean orderly maintenance. Okay, so then at the last you would see Hasta. Hasta is someone who was born to the parents at a very late age. So the woman that this man has got married to is born to her parents after a long pause. They have been waiting for children for quite a long while, and ultimately they got children. That's one thing. Or they don't have a male child, and that's why this person has to take care of the wife's parents as well. Okay. So there's so many things that you can talk about. Then you couple it up with D9. Done. That's it. You can give a straight line, single confirmative sentence. Couple it up with dashas. Then you can say, look, this is when you got married. This is when you had kids. This is when you had a job. This is when you didn't have a job. This is the time when you were rich, and this is the time you were poor. All these things can be explained. If you're just looking at D1 and using houses, you're just betraying yourself and saying, I know everything, but nothing works. Or you are leaving it on God and praying for the result that whatever I gave should happen. Okay. Did I make some sense?
Yes, very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have another chat, sir. If we have another couple of minutes or another 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I have both D1 and D9 charts in front of me.
Can you just tell me what is the date of birth, time, and place? Let's pop this chart up because we have.
Okay, you can put it in that. Yes, at 27/8/1963.
August 27, 1963. Okay.
63 and 21/20.
Okay.
Guntur.
Guntur. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a male or a female?
Male.
Okay. What is that you would want to focus on? Which house? What is that you would want to ask?
Yeah, marriage. He has not divorced, but then I'm not very comfortable or compatible with the life partner.
So there are ego issues, right?
Okay. Ego issues.
Ego issues. Okay, because the seventh lord is Venus. The dispositor is Sun. Sun is in Magha. It's in 10th degree. I mean, forget degree for now. I've not taught degrees as yet, but Sun is in Magha Nakshatra. So Magha is Pitrunam Magha Rudantaha. So the person is actually not able to, the wife. This is a male chart, right?
Yeah.
So the wife insults the husband. He
True.
weeps. He weeps at his friend's place and ఆకే పోస్తాడు కళ్ళు నులుముకుని పాపం ఖర్చీఫ్ తో తుడుచుకుంటాడు. నా వైఫ్ నన్ను అవమానిస్తోంది. దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ ఇస్ ది కామెంట్.
Yeah, many times I don't know where he goes and expresses, but silently he is bearing
Silent,
the
very, very silently weeping. He would not reveal it to anyone.
Yeah,
Whatever insults
introvert kind,
whatever insults he's facing, he's
Yeah.
trying to weep his tears off his
Yeah,
face without notice of anyone.
yeah,
This is already explained in Magha. Okay,
yeah.
so most result is coming from Magha. Now you can
Okay.
look at the cusp of the seventh house. The seventh house cusp, in this case as well, this is in Chitra second Charana. So the wife is shouting. Okay,
Hmm.
the wife is very, very shouting and
Dominating.
because Indrasya Chitra, this is the dominative woman, and she says, "I'm talking all truth about you. Whatever you have done to me, I'm saying the same thing. Why are you ashamed?" Okay,
Yeah,
this is what she's saying to him.
yeah,
And will there be a divorce or not is what you have to look from the D9, and also from the nakshatras. You have a base energy. The base energy here is if there are children. Okay, if there are children, there is no problem for the divorce. I mean, there is no divorce. There are children.
yeah. One male child, but delayed child.
Yeah, the delay in child is because of the Purva Phalguni thing. If there is any Purva Phalguni influence, you have to see. There is not much on the Purva Phalguni. Okay, there is a delay just because of Magha. Okay, maybe ego issues here and there. So
Yeah,
that's the reason. Okay, if there are children at the base level, nakshatra level, there is no divorce. I've explained this in Magha Nakshatra. Okay,
okay, great.
and
So
then
lot of yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
then you go to the Navamsha chart, try to look at the Rashi Tulya Navamsha. I'll teach all of these because in the Telugu classes I've been teaching for 2 years now. So,
Okay.
or maybe 1.5 years now. So a lot of Telugu students already know how to look at Rashi Tulya Navamsha and stuff like that. But in English classes, people are still new to all these. Or maybe they are experts already. I don't know. So because a few students are so that they want to learn from everyone. I appreciate their patience. So then we look at the D9. From D9, what we understand is we see the Rashi Tulya Navamsha, and then
Okay.
see how are these the first lord and the seventh lord placed from each other. So the first lord is Mars. The seventh lord is because the Rashi Tulya is the
Venus.
same. Yeah, seventh lord is the Venus. So they are placed in 311 relationship. So from Mars to Venus, this is a 311 relationship. This is the neutral relationship. And then Venus is in the third house. It can mean, the wife could be complaining, look, you must be having affairs outside this and that. All that stuff can also be there because it's the Gemini sign.
Okay.
And there are a lot of talking happening and a lot of things happening around, but I don't think there is any divorce around here.
Yeah, there's no divorce thing, but only thing is all through, unhappy married life, but continuing. Both sides, actually, I know both of them. So both sides, they are unhappy with each other.
First lord in the sixth house, along with the sixth lord. Okay, so a lot of people might think this is a deceased fellow or something. No, I mean he has no ailments. Okay, you know why? Because the Lagna Lord of Navamsha, if the time is right, the Lagna Lord of Navamsha is Venus. In the Rashi chart, he is placed in the fifth house. This is a healthy man, and the focus
looks like a sick person, but he's a healthy guy. Never, for the
that's what I said.
rarely,
Never fell ill in his life. Okay, this is what it is shown.
very service oriented, silently supports people.
So that's what it shows. So first lord in the sixth house is a service-oriented person, not necessarily being a sickly person or something.
Yeah.
And from here on the 10th house, yes.
Sir, I have one chart, sir. Mesha Lagna, Lagna Lord in Leo,
Okay.
Sun is in Anuradha. Most of the points are there, sir. What you are told.
Okay.
She is soft spoken, honestly.
Hmm.
Language problem, sir.
నో ప్రాబ్లం. తెలుగులో చెప్పండి, నేను ఇంగ్లీష్లో చెప్పేస్తాను. నాకు మాత్రం మీకు వచ్చినంతే వచ్చు.
Lagna in Bharani, sir.
Okay.
Mars in Purva Palguni, Sun in Anuradha.
Okay. 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 Mars in Purva Phalguni, Sun in Anuradha. So,
Yeah.
are we getting any traits of Purva Phalguni? Is there delay in everything in his life? జీవితంలో అన్ని
Not
ఆలస్యం.
delay, sir.
So first Lord being in Purva Phalguni, no delay happened. So that is why I am emphasizing here. So first
అంటే
Lord
ఇంకా
is
చదువుకుంటాను సార్, ఇప్పుడే అయిపోయింది.
ఇప్పుడే చదువుకుంటుంది. ఓకే. ఓకే.
అయిపోయిందండి, జాబ్ లో జాయిన్ అయ్యి.
So this is a young woman who is just ఎంత వయసు అండి?
96 అండి.
96 born.
96 December
Okay.
1st.
Okay, she's pretty young woman. So usually Purva Phalguni would show delays, right, in life. So she's not very sure about it because she's still young.
ఎండి అయిపోయింది సార్.
Okay.
చదువు మూలాన ఆలస్యం అవుతానే వచ్చింది.
చదువు
కానీ
మూలాన
పాయింట్స్ అయితే చాలా, అంటే మ్యారేజ్ ఏజ్ వచ్చింది కానీ ఆ చదువు మూలానే ఇంకా మ్యారేజ్ లోకి వెళ్ళలేదు.
అచ్చా, ఏం పాయింట్స్
హానెస్ట్ గా ఉంటుంది సార్, హానెస్ట్ గా ఉంటుంది సార్.
Honest. Okay.
పైన పైన స్ట్రాటజీ బాగా వేస్తుంది సార్.
Strategy. Okay.
గట్టిగా మాట్లాడలేదు, చాలా సాఫ్ట్ గా మాట్లాడుతుంది.
Soft. Okay.
ఏదైనా గట్టిగా మాట్లాడతామంటే ఫస్ట్ ఏడ్ చేస్తుంది సార్. మీరు చెప్పిన పాయింట్ చాలా బాగా
Okay.
మ్యాచ్ అయింది.
Weep.
ఫస్ట్ తను ఏడ్
Weeping
చేస్తుంది.
if somebody is questioning. Okay.
చాలా హానెస్టీగా ఉంటుంది సార్.
Yeah.
ఎవరు
Good.
ఏదైనా కావాలన్నా తను చిన్నదైనా ఆ ప్రాబ్లమ్ సొల్యూషన్ ఇచ్చేస్తుంది.
So providing solution to all the problems. Okay. Good. Good strategy.
తను చిన్నదే కానీ తను అడుగుతారు అనమాట, దీనికి ఏం చేయాలి అని.
So although she is
చెప్తుంది
young,
బాగా.
she's actually asked for problems and she provides solutions to all of them.
అవును సార్,
Okay.
బాగా
Good.
స్టేబుల్ మైండ్ తో ఆలోచిస్తుంది ఏం చేయాలి అన్నది.
Okay.
పైన
Okay.
వాళ్ళకి మాత్రం తను ఫేవరెట్ గా ఉంటుంది, చాలా హానెస్ట్ గా ఉంటది కాబట్టి తను లైక్ చేస్తారు సార్.
Okay.
మీరు చెప్పిన పాయింట్లు బాగా మ్యాచ్ అయ్యింది సార్.
So most of the points are matching.
అవును సార్.
Thank you.
Sir, I am Libra ascendant and my Venus is Anuradha. That relationship thing is completely okay. First relationship, it was very painful and everything else was also matching. I feel very uncomfortable to lie, but
You feel
somehow
very uncomfortable for what?
lie to lie.
Oh, lying. Okay, lying. Okay. Honest, Renika. Okay, good. But sometimes
And
you
it's
have
also
to
in
lie.
second.
Are you forced to lie sometimes?
Yes, it is with my family because it's in second house. I hide everything from my family. They don't know they know nothing about my life.
Okay, good. Good. Okay.
That's the thing.
And do you have any planets in Taurus or Libra?
No plan.
Okay.
No.
No.
Empty.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
I have Capricorn ascendant with
Okay.
Mars and Ketu both in Anuradha.
Okay.
Yep. So 4th house and 11th house actually, Mars, and they are in Anuradha. So I can see mother being very honest with me,
Right.
and maybe 11th. I have, I mean, I had few financial struggles. Maybe that could I can decide from the Anuradha as in Mars.
Okay. Are you into business or you are an employee?
I'm an employee.
Okay. You are an employee. In that case, do you partner with other people at work, and do you face betrayals?
No.
Okay. Are you a person who's a strategist at office?
Yes.
Okay. So are you what else I wanted to ask you? Okay, did you face a midlife crisis? Did you spoil your life and then restarted it once again? I'm not very sure how old are you. So
I am just 40, but maybe
okay.
I moved abroad just 6 years ago, so that was a new start. So that was a
Okay.
big leap that I had to take. Yeah,
Okay.
it was completely a turn of things, turn of events, settling to a new country. Yeah, so even that was something that I was wondering. Being 4th house is struggle. Being, I mean, the place that I settled is in Canada, which is quite harsh weather.
Your
I'm
lagna
not.
must be in this one. We have covered Shravana. Today we have covered Shravana in Telugu. So are you a Shravana lagna in Capricorn?
Uttarashada.
Achha, you are Uttarashada. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
On the fourth charana of Uttarashada, is that?
Yeah.
So you have more traits of the Shravana thing. That's why you moved out. Okay.
Okay.
Have you been there in the Telugu class as well, or did you go through
No.
the Shravana Nakshatra? Okay.
No.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, I
So
interrupted.
with I mean, how do we try to see Ketu and Mars both in Anuradha here?
Both are ruling.
How do we try to?
Both are ruling Capricorn. For now, I have not talked about planets. Planets, we'll talk about them after the nakshatras are all over. Once we get to understand what the nakshatras are offering, I'll tell you what happens with Mars, Ketu, what happens with all the combinations for it, all the planets. And also, we'll talk about all the Rashis as well in detail. And then we'll talk about the divisional charts. That would end more or less. I mean, once we are done with all the nakshatras, what I would suggest is maybe we'll have 40 minutes of class from there on, and we will only talk with charts. Because now nakshatras are like, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, even 2 hours, we can keep talking about the nakshatra. So I'm trying to cut as much as the Puranic stories in English, because there is a lot of boredom if there is Puranic stories in the English side. So the Telugu side, the Puranas are explained even more detailed. Okay. So once this is done, once we're done with all the nakshatras, once we have the baseline energies very clear. So like what I'm doing, I'm not using any of the planets right now. So I'm using only the base level energy of the nakshatra and trying to explain it to you. Even now, when I've predicted everything for the charts that the previous man has supplied, I've not used any of the planets or the conjunctions. I've just used the nakshatra level.
Yep.
Okay. So don't go by those things of Mars in conjunction with Ketu, wo ho jayega, ye ho jayega, kuch nahi hoga. Nothing works like that. Okay, nothing works like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question regarding Ashwini Nakshatra. Can I ask?
Yes, please ask.
Somewhere I have read that any event in Ashwini Nakshatra happens 3 times and it's successful in 3rd time. Is it so? Like in 5th house,
Not
educations happen.
necessarily, not necessarily. I get your question where you're coming from. I don't want to describe who said this. I have seen first time because when if you read the story of Ashwini Kumaras, when they were asking for heaven, they were denied
Yes,
for
yes.
they were denied twice, and then on the third time they got the heaven thing. So usually
Yes, yes, yes.
immigration, right? So when you go to immigration or when you try to actually apply for some other country's immigration, 2 times the person is actually unsuccessful, and the third time most of the times it worked. Maybe in 1-2 cases I've seen that. Otherwise, first time he's denied, second time 90% of the times it happens. Not necessarily 3 times. This is my experience. I can, somebody else might have a different experience, but second time 90% of the people are through.
Okay, okay. If in
But-
seventh house or
But
fifth house,
it's for timing things, right? Without using dasha, just using nakshatra is absolutely wrong. You can't do that. Always use the dasha
Oh,
for
oh.
timing. I'll teach timing.
Sure.
Don't jump guns. There's no way. There is no shortcut for all this. You have to wait. Dasha, I will teach, and you can ask Telugu students who have learned a few techniques in the dasha. They work marvelously well, like the timing of marriage, etc. So be patient. We'll come
Okay,
to
sir.
it.
And one thing from Ashlesha, can we say that betrayal is a part of Ashlesha Nakshatra?
Yes, because
That
Vinita and Kadru also had these issues of betrayal because Kadru has betrayed Vinita. Yes, this can be possible. But Aslesha, I'm not connecting much with it because betrayal, I would say both would have to work in tandem. Aslesha, I'm not connecting so much with betrayal. I don't know why. Or maybe I have not put
okay.
on enough light. Thanks for bringing this up. Maybe I'll have to look for it. I have not looked at. Maybe I have to validate that. Thank you.
Okay, but I want to ask if let's suppose fourth house has Ashlesha, so mother will betray native or mother will get betrayed.
I said right. I've not even looked at from that angle.
Okay, okay,
So right
okay,
now, what I see from here is if there is fourth house Aslesha, it would mean that mother is very powerful. Okay, mother
okay,
is very
okay,
powerful and controlling the native,
okay.
and the native has to obey whatever mother is saying because in both
True, sir.
Garuda, yeah, both Garuda and the Nagas were obeying whatever mother has said. If they have denied, mother has actually slapped them. Okay, just go back to the stories.
Manipulative,
Yeah, yeah.
manipulative kind of.
You have
Dominant.
to. Yeah, mother is very very uh, dominative on the native. Okay. Fine, guys. I think yes.
So I asked you a few days ago regarding what should we choose while analyzing Lagna chart, moon chart, or sun chart in terms of strength. You said that I should
That's
ask
a
this.
that's a big topic. I think we cannot cover it right now. Let's
Okay, sir.
break for today. Maybe the next class or so we can do that because I don't want to leave you halfway. It will take about 15-20 minutes. Let's
Okay,
do
sir.
that in the next class.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Let's break here. Yes.
Sir, one more question from Anuradha.
Mhm.
Just want to know what will help Anuradha the most to get through emotional turmoil and all these things.
Meeting
Both.
people. Anuradha is not meeting enough people.
Okay.
Anuradha is not meeting enough people. Meet people, understand them, master their skills. ये ऐसा सोचता है,
That's
वो वैसा सोचता है. तो let us be. अगर घी ढंग से आता नहीं है तो क्या करेंगे? उंगली टेढ़ा करेंगे, right? You have to get your ghee out only through
yes, yes.
ungli theda. So that's how you have to work. It's not easy
Okay.
for Anuradha. You have to do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for hearing. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.